Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We're here every Saturday to highlight local entrepreneurs and small business owners and to learn how they succeed to build their businesses from the ground up. What were their challenges and what are their victories? Jeanette, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing well.
I'm looking forward to this. This should be fun.
Yeah, today's show, we have Jack Lehman Sousa from the Project Theater Project. He's going to be talking about some current things that are coming out.
I Googled it. I got lots of questions.
All right, good. So I can always count on you for questions. And I'm looking forward to that, too. I was actually this is probably about 5 years ago now, but I went to the Johnny Cash birthday bash they had.
Oh.
Yeah, which they had basically singers from all over Modesto or probably over the Central Valley that came in and performed.
Did you?
I did not.
You stick to Elvis, don't you?
So, no, I did not. But if they asked me to, I would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd have to practice.
We'll just have to ask Jack.
Yes. We'll ask Jack when he gets in here. So the Small Business Voice offers Legal Shield. The value of Legal Shield for individuals, families, and small businesses is we never know what tomorrow's going to bring. If you don't have to worry about a bill, would you pick up the phone and call your expert attorney? I would say yes. That's what Legal Shield does all across the USA for 52 years, turning wrongs into rights because everybody deserves access to justice. Most people are priced out of having legal representation, but we got your back. Ask yourself, how much does it cost to talk to a lawyer? So, Jen, how much do you think it would cost?
Oh, I should know. I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's about $900 an hour.
Okay, $900. So if you had Legal Shield, do you know what the cost per hour is if you had the membership, just the basic membership? It's 12.5 cents an hour.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're interested, contact me, 209-896-6500. Actually, text me. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Jeanette, how's the world of insurance doing?
It's getting better, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people already left California, but as far as Allstate, we're not going anywhere. And we are hoping to actually open it up more for all of those things that made some people not be able to qualify for Allstate. We're hoping to be able to lower that down so that once again, they can qualify for Allstate. We are also hoping, keep my fingers crossed, that we'll be able to bring back the Allstate Deluxe Homeowners product by this fall. So everybody out there, keep your fingers crossed for me. But we're writing homes, dwellings, your rental properties, commercial, and, auto. I just wrote a boat. Someone took their boat out. Excellent boat insurance.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Yeah, we're still completely open for business. And
pet insurance.
Oh, yeah, we have pet insurance, life insurance, all of those things. So definitely give my office a call, talk to all of my nice girls, and let's get you a second opinion at least.
Right. And she does have nice girls in there. They all have different personalities.
Yes.
Because they've taken the personality test. So
they're perfect for their jobs, especially with customers.
So call Jeanette at 209-667-2222 if you'd like to get a quote. Or actually, if you just want to take your policy into her office, they can read it for you and let you know what you have and what you need.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, if they have a perfect policy. We had someone with an elderly gentleman, and the daughter was insisting that he get his homeowner's insurance through us. But his policy was perfect. And I looked at the home and I said, you can't get an inspection right now. You're grandfathered in. You have a good price with your insurance company. Stay put. Stay where you are.
Nice.
Because they're going to make you fix those stairs. Your fence is crumbling. And I said, just keep your insurance.
Oh, okay. So you were out to his residence?
Well, these days it's Zillow.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I said, what's going on here? Have you had this repaired? And he's like, no, I just can't afford it. And I said, well, then you can't afford to change insurance because there's going to be an inspection.
Yeah.
And so, I'm more about making sure that people protect what they've worked so hard for, not so much about I need more policies.
Okay.
But I really want, people have come in and I said, why do you have this much? Do you have like hidden gold underneath? And somebody had just piled on all these things that they didn't even need. And so it is always good to have a second opinion.
Yes.
I mean, the worst thing that can happen is you find out you have really good insurance and you should stay put.
So you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Justin and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. We got Jack Lehman Sousa coming on next segment. He's in our green room right now. And he's a part of the Project Theater Project. So we get to learn a little bit more about him, some of the things that are coming up. Because this is a small theater.
Yeah, did you do theater in high school? Or
I did not.
Oh.
No, I was I didn't kind of get my artistic
Calling.
Yeah, till like my mid 40s. And
Wow.
and that's when I started the show, and it morphed into a
Well,
radio
yours
show.
came out of the love hearing what other businesses were
Yeah.
doing and talking to people and being a really good listener.
Yeah, thank you. I had the personality test too. So, and then working with Kurt, it's been great because I got to do a commercial with him, which should actually premiere this weekend because we got to do one more voiceover and then it's ready.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see that. So that's going to be another thing we offer at the Small Business Voice is we can get you started with it, but Kurt at Lightspeed Graphics and Design and Animation, he's going to be the one doing the commercial. I think he's going to pay me as an actor.
Oh, okay, good.
But I'm going to be in all the commercials. I'm the
And
main
he called
actor.
me for pictures of my truck again, and I went straight out there and got you pictures of my truck. It still looked great after Angelo's
Nice.
detailing had. It lasted for a long time. I need to get him back up to my house to detail the truck again.
So make sure you call your daughter's friends because they're going to probably want to see him.
And date him. Yeah.
See, I don't have that problem. So I can come up and, I'm like a repellent. If you want, girls in their 20s to run, that's what I do. So it's like a horror movie. I come up to your house and they just scatter and hide. So
Oh, stop. You have a fan base. I mean, we got screaming women outside the door right now, pounding it down. So I'm really looking forward to, Jack coming on board. I've told you this before, everybody thinks I'm so outgoing, but I was painfully shy. I was probably, I got an award in 6th grade for the only girl that would laugh without making any noise. So my mom actually put me in drama.
Really?
And because she says, you got to get out there. And I was terrified. But that's when I kind of figured out the whole thing. If you pretend you're someone else, then I wasn't the one that was nervous. I think that theater and those kind of things help people in life in general. And when you could be somebody else and then it becomes acting is believing. And so, it's going into job interviews or anything else. If you believe that you're really confident and go out there, and eventually it morphs into that it's not so scary to speak. I've spoken in front of 5,000 people in Anaheim Coliseum or Arena.
Yeah.
So I think that even if someone isn't interested, let's say, in the theater or they want to be a movie star or anything else, theater can be a great outlet for young people to learn skills as far as being able to how they present themselves. I think it's also good for people that are shy and things like this.
I was watching a documentary on Netflix about Ric Flair, one of the greatest wrestlers, professional wrestlers.
I have no idea who you just said.
Okay. Well, so in wrestling, there's a lot of theatrics,
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh,
And
yes.
So he was talking about, I think his real name is Richard Fear or something like that. I forget. And he said Richard Fear was a college dropout, there was no confidence in Richard Fear. But when he got into the wrestling ring, that's when his flamboyancy.
He could put another persona on and become that person.
Yeah. So in a business full of giants, he had a long career, wrestled into his 70s. And, he was only 5'11", 225 pounds. And, you got wrestlers that are just bulked up. So I'm not a fan of wrestling anymore, but I can watch 80s wrestling because that's like when I got into it, was when I was a kid. I want to thank Peacock for bringing 80s wrestling back because they got to deal with WWE. So
We've been like way off. But what we're talking about is, theater and everything else.
Well, but there is a lot of theater in professional wrestling. It's more, now it's more acting than anything. So, but anyway, we have our guest waiting to come in. Jack Lehman Sousa from the Project Theater Project is going to come in next segment. So stay with us on Power Talk 1360 KFIV.
Hey girl, what's your name, girl? I've been looking at you and every guy here's doing the same, girl. Right now I really need a beer with my friends.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out to us for information on any of our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And you can pull up any of our past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, and connect with me on LinkedIn. And you can probably connect with Jeanette on LinkedIn also. Today we have Jack Lehman Sousa from the Project Theater Project, and that is over on K Street, KM 12th and 13th. And I actually been there once before. I came in, I was there for the Johnny Cash birthday bash, and that was probably about at least 5-6 years ago when I was there. So that was a lot of fun. I had a good time there. But you have other things going on. You got Frost Nixon coming up, and
yeah, I want to hear about that. But you know what?
Yeah, I do, because I'm a big. I'm not gonna say I'm a big history buff, but I like anything about John F. Kennedy. It like consumes me. Like I always get.
Well, that's
consumed.
going on actually this weekend. But I want to start with how he actually. Jack, how'd you get started? I mean, everything that deals with theater, there's usually passion that drives you to the point that you wanted to do something more in the community. So can you just give us a little bit of background on how you got involved with the Prospect Theater Project in Modesto?
Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Actually, I got started with an earlier incarnation of a community theater in Modesto called Modesto Civic Theater.
Oh, yeah.
And I worked with them for years and years and years. I probably got started on this road in about 1977. And it started with Modesto Civic Theater and the kind of theater that they were producing. And after a number of years, I found that I really couldn't get away from theater. That it really it seemed to be my vocation,
But you wanted to go in a different direction
calling.
than like the Civic Theater. They did larger maybe productions so many times, and you had another vision for that spawned this.
Yeah, finally. I mean, what happens to a lot of theaters since the 60s is they grow and they get big and they get to the place where they are not able to take risks because it threatens
The bottom line.
Right. And I really wanted to return to a riskier style of the theater production. So
So when you're saying riskier style, is that's like like maybe some of the improv, smaller, unheard of productions?
yeah, even when I'm as the artistic director of Prospect Theater Project, even when I'm making those play selections for our seasons, and even those times when I'm looking at really well-known authors, I tend to look for plays that are a little less known.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So that's also giving the opportunity maybe to, you are local. So when you're going for artists and productions that are less known, are you also getting local playwrights and things like this that give you work?
Yeah, I have relationships with a number of local playwrights, and yeah.
Would that be something like if we have someone out there in the audience, they've written a play or anything else, would they be able to submit it to you for consideration?
I'll always look.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Sure,
Okay,
I'll
great.
always look.
Yeah. Oh,
Did you hear
okay.
that, budding playwrights out there?
Yeah, the Artist Lab actually is soliciting new original short plays right now.
Now I Googled and I saw the Artist Lab and I saw that you have these great staff members. Some of them are actors, but I saw some other things too. There was someone that was doing pastel paints and someone working with children. And so
Yep.
Artist Lab, we know the performance portion. I definitely want to talk about Nixon and Frost because that's going on this weekend actually. And but give us an idea of the Artist Lab. That really fascinated me. Is that open to the public? Are these classes? Are there things that adults can get involved in?
Absolutely. Yeah, across the board. Absolutely. The Artist Lab is just a couple of years old as an adjunct activity of Prospect Theater Project. It's a small space right next door to our performance space. And the aim of Artist Lab has always been to provide opportunities for training in theater and theater craft skills. Kind of an open forum for a number of different kinds of arts, other than theater arts, painting, music. It's a small performance venue. It's a classroom. It is a studio space.
So when we were talking here and Justin going well, I didn't find my calling until I was 40. So,
Yeah.
he had a lot of things to learn. If there's someone out there, so it's just something I always wanted to do. But I don't know where I can go or get involved with creative
Artist
people.
Lab is a great place to start.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's lots of the improv classes, classes in monologues, classes in movement, classes in auditioning,
And it helps
Oh,
everyone.
okay.
special
Wow.
projects.
All
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I auditioned a long time ago for a game show.
Did you?
Yeah, I auditioned for Wipeout, and I guess I never got called. So yeah, so I guess I didn't do too well. But maybe that class would have helped me.
Well, you know what? I don't know if classes help on those things.
Yeah,
I mean, I was on Hollywood Squares, which
Yeah.
I just loved.
you
And,
you were on Hollywood Squares.
Yeah,
I
I won
auditioned.
everything.
So, anyway, you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Young and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV, and we are here with Jack Lehman Sousa from Project Theater Project. If you're interested, give him a call or text him at 209-499-5042, or he can be reached at jack@projecttheaterproject.org.
I'm very interested in hearing about the performances this weekend. And today, actually, you have a show tonight, and then there's a matinee tomorrow. Are there still tickets available?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe for both. Although our our closing Sundays are generally really well attended. So if you are thinking about coming to Frost Nixon on Sunday, don't wait to call.
Yeah, so you definitely need to go tonight then. Is there parking available,
Sure, there's ample street parking, and there's some parking available across the street. And
Yeah, that's the good thing because K Street's pretty wide open, especially Saturday night. There's not really anything in that area, so
perfect.
we didn't have any problem finding parking.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, and if let's say I decide that I wanted to go tonight, and people are hearing it saying, "Wow, this would be really great," and I want to know more about the theater. How would they get tickets? Would they Google the Prospect Theater Project and get tickets through there for tonight's performance?
that's a good way to get tickets is to go to our website, and you can purchase tickets online, or we're still a small organization. Just call, tell us you want tickets. Someone will call you back.
But I mean, we're talking. They're listening right now, and the curtain opens in a few hours from now. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to be running around crazy, right? You don't want to be getting tons of phone calls saying, "I need tickets. Can you just put them in the will call window?"
well, but you have a team of people you're working with too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Prospect has grown a lot
Yeah.
over the last 24 years. And when we started, it was a 1 or 2 person show, but now there's, we have a staff of employees. And
Okay.
They are paid. So is there a lot of volunteer? If people want to come in and volunteer their time, their
Sure.
artistic
Small
talents.
theaters like this, yeah, we absolutely rely on volunteers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So tonight's performance, and this is actually before you guys go dark for a while. And you have a big fundraiser. But,
Yeah, we have a big fundraiser on June 1st, but this is the regular rhythm. We're doing 6 productions a year, full productions, and then the radio shows, and then other outside events. But this is just part of the cycle.
Yeah. And
So Frost Nixon closes
this weekend.
Sunday, and
Who are the actors in that? Who's playing Frost and who's playing Nixon? Do you know?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, of course I do.
Well, that's a stupid question.
Oh, no, we're just going to grab
Not a
someone
bit.
off the street.
Not a bit. Richard Nixon is being played by a local actor named Michael Strangio.
Okay.
And David Frost is being played by a local actor, playwright named Nick Zagone.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So so when you have a play, do you kind of sometimes cast from people that are already in the workshops and you're just going like, wow, we're having the auditions? Or do you actually do a public audition out to the community and have auditions for the plays?
It's a little of both. I hold open auditions, but as the artistic director, and I'm thinking about what plays I want to do in the season, I generally need to have some sense of who can play those roles.
But producers
Yeah.
and directors do that also. I mean, they
Sure.
reach out to actors going like, oh, God, this would be perfect for like Nicolas Cage, or I
Sure.
can see this and this actor. And so I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And these are small productions, not large productions. So what is the ensemble of how many characters in a play?
Well, it depends. This has got, I think, 10 actors,
Okay.
but they're playing more than 20 roles.
So- Wow.
Well,
Okay.
I want to hear a little bit more about this, and I'm also very
Okay.
interested in hearing about One Valley, Many Stories. I mean, I did not Google that part. This is intriguing, and I want the people out there in the Valley to know what's out there, and because that's the whole thing. We don't find out enough about our local community, the businesses that are there, and the opportunities. And
Yeah.
you have not only the entertainment aspect, you're a business owner, and you have classes and things like this available to the community for
that's
all
huge.
kinds of creative
Well,
endeavors.
let's get to that
So,
next segment.
Perfect.
So, okay, when we come back,
Thank
we
you,
got
Jack.
more with Jack Lehman Sousa from Project Theater Project. So stay with us on Power Talk 1360 KFIV.
Hammer and a nail, stacking them bales.
CISPRO Innovations, connecting local businesses with local families. Display your services and products with our pay-as-you-go optimized website design program and boost your brand's online presence with our affordable social media marketing tools. To learn more, visit our website at CISPROinnovation.com. That's CISPRO, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Young and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. You can pull up any of our past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, and connect with me on LinkedIn. And Jeanette's on LinkedIn also. She's an Allstate agent. She's an Allstate owner.
Yes, I'll say agency owner in Turlock.
Agency owner. Yeah, you can reach Jeanette at 209-667-2222 or email her at JeanetteForney@allstate.com.
Yeah, we're back with Jack of Prospect Theater Project.
Yeah, I gotta
Justin.
apologize. I was calling it Project Theater Project. It's Prospect Theater Project.
How did that name come about?
I came up with that name after reading a quote that was attributed to a playwright named August Strindberg. And the quote was, "Prospect's brilliant, situation desperate, as usual." And that always, that just seemed to convey, what trying to produce theater, small theater in a regional setting is like. It's kind of a struggle, but it's full of promise and potential.
And so there's a prospect for
There's
a
a
good
prospect,
theater.
yeah.
All right, excellent. So going on right now today and tonight and tomorrow for the matinee is the Nixon Frost. And we might have younger people out there in the audience. And in fact, I had a very young man. He was only 23 that called our agency for a quote because he had heard the show. And I know that sometimes when you talk to young people these days, they have no idea who Nixon was or who Frost was.
Yeah.
And Justin, of course, he's a history buff and he loves, documentaries and being informed.
Yeah.
So, I also remember Nixon and Frost, but a play, really? What's it about?
Play's great.
I would imagine that's got to be pretty entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting, and it's surprisingly timely. The playwright Peter Morgan is placing this play in the context of the very famous 1977 interviews David Frost conducted with Richard Nixon after he had resigned his post as president of the United States. It was a pretty competitive interview. A lot of people wanted to get a hold of Nixon and hear from him, but Frost landed the interview. Among the things that are current about this play is the tension between media and politicians. Mm-hmm. Both of these guys, David Frost and Richard Nixon, both had high stakes. They had things to prove. David Frost wanted to assert himself as a legitimate newsman, legitimate interviewer.
Journalist, not a salacious,
not just a salacious celebrity guy. And Nixon was looking to vindicate himself after Watergate and the things that led to his stepping down from the presidency. First time that ever happened.
Yeah.
And so it's a peek into history, our local theater, and so definitely if you guys can grab some tickets tonight And as we understand, tomorrow's matinee
Yeah.
is probably going to be sold out. But I'm also very interested in, I saw something that said One Valley, Many Stories.
Yeah,
And we live in the Valley, and I'm very much involved with the Valley, and I know that there's many stories. So could you explain that? What is One Valley, Many Stories?
Yeah, it's a very exciting project. We've been working on it. It's coming to its culmination, but we've been working on it for almost a year. It's a grant-funded program from the Heartland Creative Corporation. Provided a grant to a number of regional artists to pursue their arts. Prospects part of this, One Valley, Many Stories, is predicated on the idea that there is a lot more that unites us than separates us. That we tend to look at the community we live in, and we often differentiate on physiological grounds, or people look different. The other. Identifying the other. But I think that once you get past those surface things, you really find that people, humans, have a lot more in common. Share a lot more than really differentiates them.
They say that the greatest treasures are buried in our in the ground. So I mean, there's a lot of stories there, a lot of people. So I understand what you're saying, but actually, ask the One Valley, Many Stories. I mean, what is it? Is it people telling stories? Is it people creating stories, writing stories? I mean, what exactly is the One Valley, Many Stories? Monologues or?
It's a lot of things. Among the things I was looking for were modes of theatrical expression other than a very Western linear narrative style of theater. I mean, all cultures have theater of some kind or another. I mean, we all certainly tell stories that are intended to communicate values and meaning in life. And I mean, from family groups to cultural groups, communities.
Oh, that funny story about Grandpa, right?
Yeah, but even that funny story about Grandpa is not just to laugh at Grandpa. I mean, those stories are always finally at the heart of them. There's some lesson. There's some communication of values of what's important in life. I used to be the butt end of stories around the Thanksgiving table, or the Christmas table, and for a long time I thought, well, yeah, okay, we're trotting out this story now to make fun of Jack, but there was often the underlying meaning of those stories that were told were my dad asserting, if you had listened to me, the outcome of that would have been different, or you were successful in that because you followed my advice.
And that's so true, because we talk about this all the time, especially with young entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs. And sometimes the pushback of families that, they get a lot of pushback when they say, well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to try this. And really, the support isn't there from the families. And I think it's so important for those listening today that you felt that this was something you really wanted to do. You stuck with it and you became successful. And the main thing is you're happy. And are you going to continue this for another 20, 30 years? Or what are your plans?
Well,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't have another 20 or 30 years in me.
Oh, come on.
I'll be dust. But after 24, 25 years of Prospect Theater Project, I'm right on the cusp now of handing this over to a new artistic director who will take the artistic reins of the company and lead it into the future.
Can you really step away, though?
No.
No, I mean, this is part of your life. This is who you are.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it going to be hard? I mean,
Yeah.
Does this person have the same vision? I mean, I know people sometimes that hand over and then it's all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, what have they done? They've just ruined the whole thing.
No,
But
she has her own vision, but our priorities are very much in line.
All right.
Like in projects like the Heartland Grant, and it is storytelling, but it's also music, it's dance, it is digital art, painting. This is going to be a hybrid of a number of modes of expressing what the experience of living in this valley is, and what we all fundamentally share in that experience.
Yeah, this valley is so diversified
It is.
with everything from the type of businesses and the people and I always say that this valley could
Yeah.
be its own country, and we could survive on our own.
So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duggan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here with Jack Lehman Sousa of the Prospect Theater Project. He can be reached at 209-499-5042, or you can email him at jack@prospecttheaterproject.org.
Yeah, don't miss out on tonight's performance. So call him on his cell phone. He said it was okay. So right after this performance, get out your cell phone, call him and say, I want some tickets for tonight.
Or text him. I was we were talking earlier, and you started out as an actor.
Yes.
Yeah, and now it's evolved into more directing. And so I kind of compare you to Ron Howard, now. So, and you said, yeah, I'm Ron Howard with hair.
But you've always liked theater, though, right? Or
I
did
came
you?
to it relatively late. I mean, a lot of people around me, have been involved in theater since they were young, but I was already at the community college. It's about 1977 when I started getting involved and found that.
So how old were you?
Let me do the math. 20-something.
Oh, okay. So you were in your
Okay.
20s. I wouldn't say that's getting into something late, because people are just finding themselves in their 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for me, I was in my 40s by the time I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. And I have a whole another career outside of this. So I'm trying to transition to this to full time now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which is, and then doing work with Kurt has been great too.
I would not even have known about the Prospect Theater Project if we did not have Jack on today as a guest. And I don't think the Valley sometimes knows
Yeah.
about these hidden theaters, because there's just not enough advertising. And advertising costs money. So I'm so glad that you were able to come in today and inform our listeners about what's going on in the local theater and more projects, and look forward to hearing what's coming up in the future. What's coming after this and after the fundraiser? What is the next big project we can look forward to coming in the summer or in the fall?
The next play that we're doing that closes the current season is a play called The Lifespan of a Fact. Again, it kind of is looking at the role of media and in society and community. And then we're getting ready to open our 24th season
Okay.
in
wow.
September.
Okay.
So when is the One Valley Many Stories going to be available, and how much does it cost?
One Valley Mini Stories is going to be presented June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, and it is free to the public.
Oh, free to the public.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. I like that.
Oh, me too. I'm
Yeah.
very
I'm gonna
excited about
I'm
this.
gonna have to put it down on my calendar, and you'll see both of us there, I hope.
Yeah.
hope so.
Jeanette, if you're going, I'm going. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, well, Jack, hey, I want to thank you for coming on today. I
Great
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Justin.
Thank you. And like I said, I've been there one time before. I had a great time. So, from my experience, go check out Prospect Theater. It's got stadium seating, a little bit, right?
Yep.
And the stage is right there. And do you guys still serve alcohol?
Oh my God, just this question.
Yes.
You do? Okay. Jeanette, you might have to take me
Yeah.
home that night. So,
Yeah, now
all
we're
right.
going to start talking about insurance liability here.
So, Jack, thank you. If you want to reach Jack, you can contact him at 209-499-5042 or email him at jack@prospecttheaterproject.org. And you can get more of the information. And we'll have Prospect Theater in our community corner, because they're going to have a lot of events coming up. So I want to get them in our community corner.
Perfect, thank you.
So, all right. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duggan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Stay with us.
Hey y'all, what's going on? Been waiting on this all day long.
This business tip is brought to you by Cispro Innovation. I'm Catherine Ramos, and today we're talking about investing in local advertising. Consider investing in local print and online advertising. This helps to improve your visibility among local customers, utilizing targeted ads on social media platforms for a more focused approach. Using radio to reach your customers while they are relaxing may show them your services or products in a different light. Cispro Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information on this tip, check out our blog at cisproinnovation.com. That's Cispro, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out to us for information on any of our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. Pull us up on any of the past shows on the iHeart Radio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. And you connect with me on LinkedIn and also Jeanette Forney on LinkedIn. Community Corner is proudly sponsored by Lightspeed Graphics, a creative media agency specializing in video and animation. To get in touch with owner Kurt Gonzalez, simply text him at 209-617-2606 or visit his website at lightspeedgraphics.com. So anyway, we still got Jack Lehman Sousa here. We wanted to plug your website really quick, so what better way to do this than just have you tell us about it?
Yeah, if you want to find out anything that's going on at Prospect or the Artist Lab, our website is a great resource. It is prospecttheaterproject.org, and there you will find all the information about upcoming plays, the radio cavalcade, things that are going on at the Artist Lab, and outside music events or regular music events like the Johnny Cash Birthday Bash that both seem to share.
Okay, nice. And so everybody can kind of keep up to date on that throughout the months. So
The weather's so nice also. And I notice people now, after being locked up for a couple of years, they're really getting out. I mean, last weekend was the Cherry Festival in Linden. And I mean, I went out there, bought some cherry pies, and it's so good to really invest in your own community. People are always going on vacation. When I go on vacation, I like to go to local events, but pretend that you're on vacation. Find the local events here in Modesto and in the Central Valley.
Well,
I mean, there's so much to offer.
Speaking of Johnny Cash, I went up to Sutter Creek a long time ago to watch a Johnny Cash impersonator. And I don't remember what his name was, but the guy's name was James Garner. I remember that because... have you heard of him before?
Probably not that James Garner.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Not to be mistaken with the other James Garner, the big
And
actor.
young people are going like, who?
Yeah, but this James Garner takes on the persona of Johnny Cash and does an excellent job just with every song, and he tells a history about the song and everything like that. So anyway, my point is we went to Sutter Creek for that, and that's a very small theater there. Like the seats were like very narrow. I could barely fit in the seat, I hate to admit. But anyway, that'd be like a nice venue for you guys to have too. Just have somebody, or I shouldn't tell you that, but would you
Let's
consider...
just try to take over the theater right now.
That's But would you consider having somebody like that come into the theater and perform in Modesto?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I enjoyed it, and I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. So, we had a blast.
I mean, we have the Gallo Center, and then, it's like a civic theater, and then the colleges put on big productions. And I just love the whole fact of, there was Saturday Night Live, and then it was the Groundlings, but I love the fact that it's small, it's community-based, a small theater, and it's just really grassroots. And even after all of these years, you are going into new endeavors instead of what you were saying, when somebody gets really big, but you're still keeping that small feel about it. And then starting a whole new thing with a small feel, with different different ways for people to be creative, with the One Valley, many stories. And so I love that small feel, and I will be checking out the website, and all I had to do was I just went to Google and I just typed in Prospect Theater Project, and it came up straight away with Modesto, and I clicked the hyperlink. It had everything. It had everything there. So I'll be checking it, and I encourage everybody else to check it throughout, every single month, see what's coming up. And really support. We're all about supporting local businesses.
Yes, we are.
And not only supporting local businesses, but businesses that give back. And as the theater project, I mean, you guys give back. You have classes, and you really help people express their creativity. So maybe Justin should take some classes there too.
Yeah. I probably should. Yes.
Hone in your skills, and
and that'd be probably a good way for me to find out what my skills are. Also, right?
you might have all kinds of talents that we haven't even tapped on.
Well, exactly. All jokes aside, I could probably see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Just Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here with Jack Lehman Sousa still. We're talking about the website and just all the fun things what we can do locally here, in Modesto. But mainly Modesto, yeah.
Yeah, we want to support the Valley.
Yeah, the Valley,
and
yes.
Small businesses. Even a theater, it's a small business.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not just volunteer. I mean, people are putting in their time. This is their passion. You don't have to manufacture and sell a widget. You can sell entertainment and art and creativity and still make money and do something that you love. And your family doesn't make fun of you at Thanksgiving anymore, do they?
Don't worry, my family makes fun of me at Thanksgiving. Or it's actually my sister. My sister and I go back and forth.
Yeah,
It's
I'm the youngest of four, so I'm on that end of the stick often.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm the youngest of two. So
They always say the youngest one is the most creative because they're the ones that always have to be heard, and the oldest one becomes the accountant because they're always trying to make sure that everything stays in place and they know the rules, and the youngest one only has to answer to the one right above it.
Well, hey, Jack, I want to thank you again for coming on today and just kind of educating us on things you guys do and how you help. And it makes me curious, like what you guys have to offer. Like I'm curious about like the acting, learning how to act, the auditioning.
It helps everybody. Well, you know what? Everything in life is an audition. You go to a job interview, it's an audition. You have to do a presentation in front of, board of directors. I mean, people really need to know. And I think that when you get also into theater arts, people point out to you when you're making, it's one thing I noticed when I was on Hollywood Squares and, watch yourself afterwards. I mean, I kept playing with my hair the whole time. So you get rid of those bad habits that you might not even know that you have when you're nervous on stage or presentation, and it can help everybody. And you might actually find that you have some talents and be involved in the community.
Speaking of auditioning, if
I knew this was coming.
If I audition, if I audition for a job, like the job interview, like you're talking about.
Okay, I thought you were talking about auditioning for.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. But if I'm very good at auditioning for a job. I can usually land a job pretty easy with my experience and everything like that. But this is something else. This is like a new arena for me where I really got to get my creative juices flowing in order to do that. And I got to be open-minded. I take it. But what's some advice you can give somebody that's maybe my age, lower 30s? Okay, just joking. Late 40s. What's some advice you can give somebody that just wants to maybe do something creative? Doesn't have that outlet or is looking for that outlet.
Do it.
Take some classes. See what
Do
your
it.
skills
Sure.
are.
Yeah.
Sure. For theater, get out and audition. Get training. I think reality TV has given us this kind of warped perception of what performing is.
I'm not a
And
reality.
I think
Exactly.
television and Hollywood and Fantasyland, it also gives a warped perception of what someone in their 40s looks like. And so you have actresses there going I can't get any roles. Well, because the role of the mother that looks like she's had 500 times Botox does not do the characters. I mean, they need more character actors that look real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes all these young people want to get involved in it. I think that some people going into any kind of creative endeavor or theater, I mean, yes, they're great actors, but when you have a 19-year-old putting on a white wig and a mustache, wouldn't it be great just to have someone that actually is older?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
get involved.
All
Sure.
right.
Audition and seek out training. If you
Okay.
were a musician or an athlete, you wouldn't think of not touching a baseball until you stepped onto the field. You would refine and develop those skill sets.
the
Musicians,
director,
painters, athletes, the same thing with actors. So just get involved, audition,
All right.
get training.
Yeah, there's innate
improve your skill
talent,
sets.
but there's skills involved also.
Absolutely.
And being able to show up for auditions, being able to read a script and understand the direction and take direction.
That'd probably be the one. So thank you for tuning in each week. We look forward to having you back next week. A heartfelt shout out to our dedicated producer, Mike Murray, and our general manager of KCBP, Jim Costello, for his invaluable contributions to the show. We also appreciate the hard work of our intern. Max Boucher is no longer with us. But Max, if you're listening, we'd love to have you back. I want to thank Kirk Gonzalez of Lightspeed Graphics, Video, and Animation for capturing and inspiring our guests and their stories. If you're seeking assistance with digital marketing, don't hesitate to reach out to Kurt at 209-617-2606 or via email at kurt@lightspeedgraphics.com. Thank you, Jeanette Forney, for joining me today and for your support on
Always
the,
fun.
Small Business Voice. Remember to join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. as we dive into the minds of local small business owners and even more insightful discussions. And a special thanks to our guest today, Jack Lehman Sousa of Prospect Theater Project, for joining us today and sharing his expertise. Now, let's take care of business.